MMA Oddsbreaker, I'm Frank Trigg. That's Liam McGeary getting ready to fight Bellator, July 25th. I can't even say your opponent's name. Egidijus Valavicius. Does that sound right?
I've been saying Valavicius.
Okay, Valavicius. All right, that'll work. Valavicius.
That sounds a bit better.
Yeah, Vicious. Beating up a guy that's last name Vicious does sound a lot better, actually.
Exactly, yeah.
So let's talk about you. 7-0, still kicking everybody's butt. I mean, it's kind of a little weird, kind of a little run. Submission, KO, TKO, KO, submission, KO. Like,
yep.
People don't do that. Like that kind of game is long since gone now because of how quickly everyone has advanced in the game, especially at the light heavyweight division. Guys don't tend to finish that much anymore because all the light heavyweights are getting smarter, they're getting better, but somehow you find a way to finish. And really, of your 7 fights, you've only gone to the third round in your first fight. Every other fight's been out of the first. You've had one fight going to the second. That was back in June of 2012.
Oh, that was my first one here, I think.
Yeah. That was Howard. Howard at Ring of Combat 41. Yeah. So how's it been? What's going on with you? I mean, you're obviously still in New York. You're training well. Everything's stayed the same.
Yeah, man. Oh man, I've been non-stop training. Hence the face and the hair, man. I've just not been out of the gym. I had 2 weeks off after the fight. I kind of went on a little jolly. I ended up down in Florida somehow. Yeah, exactly. Don't ask.
Going from New York to Florida is not that much of a jump. It's kind of there's a lot of people end up in Florida from New York. It's just kind of how it works out.
Yeah, I kind of got the bright idea one night, and we drove down there the next day. And
you drove down? Now that's a little silly.
It was a journey and a half, man. It was a journey. Well,
talk to me about that journey, because it's in Europe. Everybody drives everywhere because literally within 8 hours you've gone through 4 different countries. So it's very normal. But in America, we don't drive very far. Usually, on your Florida trip, people are going to fly. So who'd you drive with? Why'd you choose to drive and didn't fly down? Like what went through your head?
A friend of mine came over to watch the fight. Or 2 friends came over, and one of them went home. He was only over for a week, but the other guy was here for just over a week and a bit. So we'd been around New York. We're in New York, and I was like, well, I ain't got anything to do. He's here for another few days. He likes to go see the sights, so he was like, let's go to Washington. So we went to Washington. We saw the sights in Washington. Then I got drunk and was like, listen, I said, Florida's just down the road. I said, let's go down there. And it was like, it's not really down the road, but it's like, yeah, all right then. We've got tequila. Tequila was to blame. That's the problem.
That is, I got to be honest with you. A couple nights ago, I was out celebrating with my girlfriend. We had a little bit of tequila, and that's where the beginning of the end started. It's just all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's 5 in the morning. The sun's coming up. You have no idea what's going on and why you're still here. But tequila is always to blame.
Yeah. I just blamed that bottle of tequila every time.
Where'd you end up going in Florida?
We went down to West Palm Beach. We was trying to hit up Miami, but when we got there, it was like about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. We drove through the night. I was tired. West Palm Beach is a nice place, so I was like, you know what, we'll hit up Miami next time. So let's just park up here. We was going to go to the beach and fall asleep there, but the beach was not what we expected. So we just got some digs, had a night out, and then set off back then a few days later.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Okay. Well, you got right back into training. You got right back to moving. Everything went well, and everything pulled out correctly? Like it was as far as everything goes? So you take 2 weeks off. Most people have time to ramp up to get back into training camp. You come back in after 2 weeks, and you got to go right back into full board training camp. So there's no kind of ramping up, getting yourself ready to go. You're back into 2 days. You're back into grinding, full grind. How was it after 2 weeks taking off and being, partying for 2 weeks, all of a sudden be back right into full-on training camp? How hard was that first couple of weeks?
The first couple of weeks were sound. It's now now I'm getting closer to the fight. I'm getting agitated. It's very strange feelings. As you said, you get less time to ramp up. Now, usually you do it like a 12 or 13-week training camp, no bother, you. Bit here, and then you get to this bit of time in between what you get.
Right.
In between fights where it's been, I think it's 8 or 9 weeks in between the fights, so it's been quite strange, but I just still train, I'm in the process of moving apartments. I'm moving into the Bronx right now, so I've just had to take time out everything is just train. I get a day off here and there and just carry on training, man.
Now, you're saying you're moving. Are you a typical fighter where you can basically move your entire apartment in like 4 hours? Like you pack up the entire apartment and move the whole thing in 4 hours? Or you're a guy that has a lot of stuff and it takes you 2 days to get everything moved?
No, man, my stuff's already been sitting in bags for weeks, and I just chucked it in the back of the van. My mate's in my apartment now, setting up the air conditioning. There's like a sweat box in there, so he's working away, and I've just come to sit in the car and chat to you.
That's perfect. So you get a little break while the air conditioning kicks on and brings down the temperature. That's perfect.
He's sweating his nuts off in there as well.
So let's talk about your opponent, Valavicius. What do you think about him? He's 27-10. He's got a lot more experience than you do. But obviously, he's tasted defeat 10 times. He has more defeats than you have fights. Do you feel like that's going to benefit him, or do you think it's going to hurt him when coming in? Because you haven't learned how to lose yet, so you don't know sometimes that you're in bad positions. You find a way to fight out of it because you just assume you're going to win again. Guys that have lost before, sometimes they start to feel like, oh, this is the position I lost last time. I might lose again in this position, so they start doubting themselves, or they come out better and they're like they know how to get out of those spots, out of those positions. So with his 10 losses, do you think it's going to help him or hurt him when you guys fight on the 25th?
I don't really know. I mean, I don't really look into a fight in that much depth. To me, I look at a fight. A fight is a fight. I don't read all all the things into it, or the how many he's lost or how many he's won. I just know he's had a lot of fights. I mean, I've had a lot of fights, not professional fights, but I've had a lot of fights as well. So it's just, I'm just going to go in there for a fight.
What does he bring to the table that you haven't seen yet? Does he bring anything different than you haven't seen in any other opponent? A different style of jiu-jitsu, a different style of boxing, or a different look that you haven't had before?
No, I mean, he likes to have a fight. He likes to scrap. He's a tough guy. He can take a punch on the chin. To be honest with you, I'm really looking forward to the 25th. I'm really looking forward to getting this on.
It's going to be a good round, especially
raining and
because I think, too, that both of you guys are going to stand right in the center and just go for it. Like, I don't think it's going to be one of those fights that's kind of going to travel a lot around. It's not going to end up in the middle of any place. It's going to be pretty much right in the center. You're going to touch gloves, and you're both going to start swinging. And then it's going to be who has the better striking, who has the better conditioning. Have you been doing anything extra for your conditioning?
Yeah, I've been working conditioning. I've been working with striking. I've been working jiu-jitsu. I've been working wrestling. I've opened up the whole game. And being in the city a lot more is I haven't got to sit on the bus for 3 hours a day. So now I get an extra 3 hours to play with. And in those 3 hours, I'm taking full advantage of them.
Perfect. Well, that's Liam's getting ready to fight in Bellator July 25th. Of course, you can see it on Spike TV. Liam, thanks. Appreciate you coming on here. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
Mate, thank you very much. I'll catch you later.